Alright, so we're going to do kind of a pretend DTM. I'm going to pretend he has a lesion right here on his body, and I'm going to clean the area with alcohol. And then I'm going to pat it dry. Alright, and then I would get about at least 3/10 of a centimeter of hair from the margin of the lesion. Okay, but I'm not going to use that much. Hold on. I just need just a little bit. Alright, so just a little bit. And then I'd stick it into this VTM container here. Alright. And just essentially lay the cap on, or loosely apply it because it needs airflow for the growth. And then we're going to stick it or incubate it at room temperature in a cabinet that's dark, and we usually check our DTMs every other day with this sheet monitor for growth and color change. If there is growth before the color change, it's not a dermatophyte, but we still like to identify our contaminants, so we will still look at it under the microscope. And we usually let them go a couple of days if it's not positive, so we can see what it is. Okay, so unfortunately our DTM is negative, so I do not have a sample to read. But considering it was on a healthy patient without a lesion, it's not too shocking, except for there wasn't a contaminant mold. Normally, we even identify our contaminant molds here. So what I would do to check a sample is I like to break an applicator stick, and I would go in here and I would take some of the fuzz or whatever the sample is, scrape some of it off, and I would put a drop of saline or water or whatever type of binder you prefer, mineral oil, and I would mix the fuzz or the sample onto the slide, and then sometimes I place a cover slip, sometimes I don't, but usually I place a cover slip and then examine it microscopically to look for whatever type of, what organism grew. And microsporum or trichophyton if it was a positive DTM. Here's a picture of sometimes of the fuzz and a color change that's on a positive DTM. There's a couple of different ones. So here in figures, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are positive. So for ringworm, so number 4 is Microsporum canis, and they're kind of like an oval. They almost look like a leaf. They're kind of a long oval, and they have little ribbed edges. And figure 4 and 5 are types of Microsporum, and then figure 6 here is Trichophyton species, and it's similar, but it's kind of more rounded. The rest of these pictures are contaminant molds. The ones that we usually most commonly see are Alternaria, which is figure 7 here. It's just kind of sporulated fungus. And then another one that we see a lot of is Rhizopus, which is kind of just like hyphae, fungal hyphae. And we've had a few Penicillium, which is kind of also sporulated fungal hyphae. Normally for positive DTM, it's not incubated very long. Like I said, it's in a dark place at room temperature with airflow to the sample by not placing a tight lid on it. And normally it takes just a few days to become positive if it's going to become positive. At most 2 weeks. If you have nothing at 2 weeks, it's definitely negative. Usually you have a contaminant mold before 2 weeks is up. But that's the best that I could do.